Okay, welcome to the demo. First of all, let's just introduce the three different versions that we have of Microsoft Copilot. So there's a completely free version. Everybody can use this. No need to log on, no need to have a Microsoft account. This is available through Microsoft Bing. It's very similar to ChatGPT, the free version of ChatGPT. It's a large language model. There's a limited number of queries, limited number of conversations, just generally shorter conversations. So it's a limited version of it. Then you've got a slightly enhanced browser version, which again everybody can use. It's free, but you do need a Microsoft login for it. So this kind of comes bundled with your existing business premium license. And then you've got the full fat version. So that's Copilot Microsoft 365, and that allows access to that large language model plus your own data and extra security. So we're going to kick off the demo by just going into Copilot in the browser. So you click there in the corner, and what we're going to do here, we're going to imagine we work for a company called Northwind Bikes. We're releasing a new e-bike and we're going to generate some marketing materials. So the first thing that I want to find out is what are the e-bike features that people look for over the last year. So I'm going to ask it to go and interrogate and get some information from the internet. First of all, I'm going to choose a conversation style. More creative means that it's going to be a bit longer and more descriptive. More precise keeps it concise, short, and more balanced is somewhere in between. For this one, I want a nice, concise document or set of results. So I'm going to click more precise. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to create the query or the prompt. So if I was going into a search engine, I could say, what are the cool e-bike features? Because Copilot can do a little bit more than that, we're actually going to give it a slightly more detailed prompt, slightly more detailed set of instructions. So I'm going to ask it to summarize the top 5 features customers look for in an electric bike in 2023. So we can type that in there. And then we press submit. And it will start responding. And as you can see, it's bringing those up there and putting those into a document for us, or putting this into a set of results, which you can then pick up, copy, paste anywhere that you want to. What you've got here at the bottom is the citations. So that's where it's pulled this information from. So you know that you've got a reasonable level of understanding of where stuff's come from as well, because you've got to keep an eye on that kind of thing with AI. It can pull stuff from anywhere. What we're going to do now is with this information, I want to put that into an email. So I'm going to go out there, click compose. I'm going to slightly change the prompt here. So I'm going to say create a summary for company executives. So you're actually giving it an audience. We're going to put it into a professional tone. It's an email that we're wanting to do. We're going to keep that nice and short. And then we're going to generate the draft rather. As you can see there in the preview window, your email pops up. You can copy that and paste that into Outlook, send that off to your executives. So that is the sort of thing that you can do with the very, very basic version. What we're going to do next, I'm just going to click out of that. We're actually going to go in to the version where you sign in. So this is your Microsoft Business Standard and Business Premium. You can access this enhanced version. Biggest difference with this is the security side of it. So we'll go through that. So we're going to enter into copilot.microsoft.com. We're going to sign in, and you're going to add your Microsoft email. So this would be your work email, or yeah, your work email for that one. And then you're going to enter your password, and you go to sign in. Immediately you can see you're protected. What this essentially means is that you have the information that you put into this version, this protected version, is going to be encrypted. Once you close down this session, it will all disappear. So your prompts will disappear, the information that you've entered will disappear. Where that's advantageous is because you can now put your company data, intellectual property, that kind of thing. You can actually put that in and enhance the documents that you're producing, knowing that that's not going to go out anywhere. So quick demo on this product spec. We're going to take that, copy the product specification, we're then going to pop back to Copilot, and we're going to ask it to use the information to write a value proposition on the Thunderbolt e-bike. So what we're now going to do is paste in our product specification. Click submit, and there we go. We have our value proposition. Again, we can see there it's taken information from our product spec document, and it's also gone and pulled information off from the web. So now we're going to complete another part of our request. So we want to do a comparison to other e-bikes that we can use in some competitive marketing materials. So again, we're going to click Ask Me Anything, put in our prompt, and we're going to ask it to do it in a tabular summary using short descriptions and citations. We're going to click submit, and you can see here it's put that together for us in a nice table. And again, we've got the citations, and we can hit the learn more and see where all that information has come from. Finally, for this one, just to demo that Copilot can also draw pictures, we're going to ask it to do a logo for the Thunderbolt electric bike. Takes a few more seconds to generate an image, but there you go. It's given us 4 options for a nice little logo for the bike. So now we're going to very quickly create some social media content with Copilot's help. So we've got a PDF here, and we're going to open the Copilot tab. I'm going to select Chat and Ask Me Anything. And here you can see we are generating a half dozen short social media posts based on this web page. We're going to ask it to include some emojis. And here you can see, again, it goes off and does that very, very competently. So we wouldn't recommend, if you were using the non-signed in version, that you would upload data like this, because there's the potential for that to help train that large language model. It's not protected. Data protection, big thing with AI. So when you're signed in, this is all protected. I'm just going to do a quick demo just to show that. So we'll come out of Copilot there. We're going to close this down. we're going to click on the icon there. We're going to sign out. We've signed out of 365. We're going to close that. Again here, sign out. There's a lot of signing out to do. And close that. I'm going to relaunch Microsoft Edge. Go back into Copilot. Sign in. Sign in. Password. Sign in. First of all, you can see that we've not got a record, so there's no sort of chat history there. And just to demo that it's not remembered anything, I'm going to put in very, very similar, or the same query actually. So compare the Northwind Thunderbolt e-bike specs, the top 3 e-bikes. We've not given it the specs, so we're going to press submit, and it's basically going to come back and say, I can't do that because I haven't got that information. So I can only go off and get what's available from the internet. This means you're not going to get as good a response to it, but it just shows that added level of security that with that version you can put more of your company data in and you're protected. You can also use Copilot from within Windows 11. So you've actually got everything that's available in the browser is available from your Windows 11 toolbar. So we're going to open that up. Again, you can see it's starting to become familiar. What we're going to do here is we're going to ask Copilot to produce some tweets for us. We're going to use some of our own information. So we're going to transform the following text into tweets. We're telling it who we're actually targeting, and then we're providing some more of our own information. And there we go. It's pulled those tweets up. Now, I don't know about you, they look a little bit long for tweets. So, pretty simple request, just make them shorter. So as well as doing those kind of tasks, it can also help you configuring things within the system as well. So an example of that, can you turn on Bluetooth? If we ask Copilot to do that, it just goes off and does it. Gives you some additional questions there that you could ask as well, but now Bluetooth is enabled. Another example, can you help me change my wallpaper? Again, press send. And what it does here is actually take you to the page. So it takes you within the settings so you can actually go and change your wallpaper. So if you've got a Microsoft license, Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Microsoft Business 365 Premium, you've already got all this. You can already start using it. Nothing else to play, and so you can start playing around with it. So we're going to move on now to what I called earlier the kind of full fat version, which is Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365. What we've seen so far is not dissimilar to ChatGPT. You can upload your documents, you can paste things in there, and it will allow you to work with what you put in there. This is where it gets a little bit different, because once you're in your 365 environment, Copilot can actually use your own data and your own files alongside the large language model. So let's kick off and have a look at what that looks like. So the first thing that we're going to look at is how we can use this within Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to select Teams down there in the bottom, and as you can see, we've got an ongoing meeting here. I'm going to click on Copilot, and we're imagining we've just joined this meeting. It's already started, and we've got a prompt here that we can use straight away, which is just to recap the meeting. And within a very, very short space of time, Copilot will have recapped what's gone on so far. Even more than that, you can then start to ask questions of Copilot. So here we're going to ask, how does the group feel about the inventory status, which has been mentioned just here? Again, it goes through the meeting, the recording of the meeting, and pulls out the sentiment. So it's saying here that it's got mixed feelings. There's people that are happy with certain parts, people that are unhappy with other parts. And we can ask it what sort of questions have actually not been answered, what's unresolved. And again, it brings that up for us as well. What this means is you can come into a meeting partway through, get caught up very quickly. It's really, really good for note taking. You're not having to scribble things down. All of the notes are there, and it can summarize them, pick out the important parts for you as well. So we're going to move through the business day, and we're going to go into Outlook and have a look at some emails. So you can see here we've got an email trail here. There's 6 emails in it, so it's a reasonably long conversation. We've just got a latest update. So one of the things that Copilot can do for something like that is just go through that email trail and actually provide a short summary for you. And what it's showing here is the citation. So this is where it's pulled that information from within the email trail, and you can click that and actually go to that email, and that pulls out and gives you the entire email. So again, a real potential time saver there when you've got trying to recap what's gone on in a previous conversation. Just moves you forward, makes it a lot easier. So we've dealt with the email. We're going to move on, and we're going to go into Microsoft Word, and we're going to produce a proposal. We're going to use a construction planning document we're going to leverage the content that's in the construction planning document to produce the proposal for us. So this is where we can use internal files. So we put there, we're going to do a project proposal based on. We're going to reference the file, and we're going to use that construction planning document. We're just going to put a link to that construction planning document, and then we're going to generate the proposal. So it's taken the information that we've got in our construction planning document and put it into a proposal. We've had a good read through this. We're happy with the content that it's produced, so we're going to press keep it. And you can see we can scroll up and down in this, and then we can start to add into that document as well. So now we're going to see what Copilot will do if we add in some information from a different source. So I'm going to click paste, which you can see we've added in some further information. Copilot now lets us know it's ready for the next prompt. And we're going to click the Inspire Me button. So what it's doing now is it's looked at the additional information that we've put in, it's keeping it in context, and it's adding more detail to our document. Again, we're going to check and we're happy with the results of that, and we're going to click keep it. So you can see there, and I personally, you know, you've got to go through these things. I find it a great starting point for writing stuff like this. And there is some good stuff when it adds things in, but it is a starting point. I wouldn't trust something that's completely been written by AI. This for me is one of the best sort of features, if you like. So we're going to take this proposal and we're going to go into PowerPoint, and we're going to click Get Started here and create, and we're going to transform a file. So we're going to take a Word document that we've already got, and we're going to ask Copilot to make that into a presentation. Again, takes a few seconds, creates the slides, but from a simple Word document, you suddenly got an entire presentation. You can obviously go from there, you can edit that presentation, but just the speed of being able to take the proposal as an example and go straight away, turn this into a presentation for us. Okay, we're going to go into Excel next. Again, you can see a familiar thing here, Get Started. And we're going to describe what we want help with. Now again, this is a really Excel can be, I'm a big Excel fan, but it can be a little bit difficult, inaccessible to people, because you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to go into cells, you've got to edit things, and yeah. So what we're gonna ask it to do here, we don't want the decimal points in the sales amounts. Now, being an experienced Excel user, I can select all of those, right click, format, etc. I can use instructions that are up here, but you've got to know what you're doing. The great thing about this is you can now use kind of real language for it. So you're just saying to it, don't show decimal points for the sales amounts. You click and it does it, and it tells you what it's done as well. So we can also, using this natural language, ask it to drill in and analyze some of the data as well. So we're going to mark in yellow any gross sales over 500,000. So that's possibly a formula that potentially be quite difficult to do, just done using that natural language. Then we're going to ask it to actually produce some insights for the data as well. And what it's done here is actually given us a pivot chart that shows some insights into it. And then we're going to add all of those insights, add all of the insights that it can come up with into a completely new sheet. So suddenly you're actually able, without knowing how to analyze data, because you can bring it up in graphs and put it onto new sheets and show everything that's going on. Okay, so now you're a data analyst. We're going to pop back into Teams, and we're going to imagine we're working on a project called Rally Cloud, because Microsoft like to make these things as difficult as possible. So it's Project Rally Cloud, and we're going to ask, what are the upcoming milestones for Project Rally Cloud? So as you'll know, within Microsoft you can put files in there, but this also links up to SharePoint, anywhere else that you're storing files. So it's summarized here. What are the milestones that are coming up? And if you click here, it shows you the reference, it shows you where it's got that information from. It's now remembered that you're talking about Project Relay Cloud, so you don't have to keep putting that in. So then we're asking it, what are the risks? Again, it's going off, it's interrogating all the information, the files that you've got on that particular project, and it's come up with these 3 risks. Again, you can see here where it's got that information from. So once we've identified the risks, obviously now we're looking at how do we mitigate those risks. And again, we can just, with using natural language, we can ask Copilot, how would it go about mitigating those risks? Again, it goes off, it searches files, and it comes up with the ways to actually mitigate that risk. Finally, what we can do here is we can get it to write a message to the team which outlines both the risks and the mitigations. So it's drawing on what it's already learned and then putting that into a different format. So again, it's using the citations, it's telling you where it's got that information from. What we're going to do now is just do a SWOT analysis about the entire project. And here you can see it's looking at files, it's looking at emails, it's looking at all kinds of different things from all kinds of different areas. Again, you've got those citations there. Scroll up and see where it's getting things from. Again, citations all kind of over the place there. So that's what it can do. We also want to talk about just getting ready for it. I mentioned earlier on about data protection. It's important not just outside the organization, but internally within the organization as well. So you can implement something called just enough access within your company. I imagine a lot of you already have file protection, sensitivity labels, retention policies, all of that kind of thing. So things like a human resources folder that only people within human resources can actually get into. It's really, really important that you get that right before giving access to Copilot for Microsoft 365. Because it makes it so much easier to draw on information from files within the business, it also makes it far easier to find information that maybe you shouldn't do. So it's the biggest thing for internally that you need to do before you even think about actually going out and getting Copilot and installing it and bringing it into your business, is to make sure that you've got those file permissions locked down. It's one of those things that kind of only you can do as a business, because only you know where you want to put things. So actually sorting the data first is a vital part of that process. Once it's sorted, if you're a customer of ours, you can let us know and we can help you put those protections in place for it. But sorting the data is something that you've got to do, and understanding where you want it and where you want the protections is very much a personal thing for you as a business.